2 days away. Who will be the next big player to change their team's fortunes? In the last 2 seasons, we've seen rookie quarterbacks turn franchises around. Jayden Daniels led the Commanders from last place in the NFC East to the NFC Championship just a year after C.J. Stroud took the Texans from a 3-13-1 record to the divisional round. And now we look to this draft. Another Super Bowl champion joining the show, my guy, Damien Woody. Great to have you with us. The wood. I like the yellow.
Yeah. Whoa. Oh. Let's not start this early.
Where's the blazer? Where's the tie? Yo, man. Yo.
Hey.
Wait. We gonna talk.
Listen, I can't. The reason I'm not wearing any blazer because I need elbow room so I can go ahead and do my thing right now. That's what I need.
I'm doing my thing. I'll be back tomorrow.
Well, okay, when you come back,
I'll deal with you tomorrow. You're going to be
respectful.
On this show.
You're going to be respectful to me on this set.
You're going to be respectful with your wardrobe. But let's go.
Shay, what's up, baby?
I'm good. I'm good, Woody. How you doing this morning, bro?
I'm good, my brother.
All right, gentlemen, tell me this. Woody, I'll start with you. Which prospect do you think will have the most Daniels-like impact?
Yeah, well, let me preface before I say it that usually when we talk about quarterbacks usually have the biggest impact because they play the most important position. Yeah. They have the ball. But if I had to make one pick, it would be Travis Hunter.
Okay.
Because I think Travis Hunter plays on both sides of the ball. Obviously, I think Travis Hunter coming in could be an all-pro type of cornerback like in the first year or so because of his ability to do what most cornerbacks can't do, which is get his hands on the football. He can be a game-changing type of player on the defensive side of the ball right off the bat. And then, obviously, when you add in what he can do offensively, that, to me, is just extra. He's going to play on both sides of the ball. It's just a matter of how many reps, how many snaps he's going to take on the offensive side. But this is, even though as a wide receiver, he can be a Pro Bowl type of wide receiver. That's how good his skill set is on that side of the ball. So if I'm picking a guy, for me, it's Travis Hunter.
I'm going to go with Cam Ward. And here's why I'm going to say that. We know that he passed for about 4,313 yards, completed about 67% of his passes. Okay, we get that part. But his ability to run with the football, the athleticism that they point to, along with the fact that this is a mimicking type league where if you see something and it works, everybody's looking for that component. To see Jayden Daniels come on the scene and do what he did last season, if you look at Cam Ward, he's a bigger dude who can run his damn self. And then when you look at him and the discrepancy in his numbers, Woody and Shannon, what he is under pressure compared to what he is when he's not under pressure, that just lends itself more towards him running with the football. Major splits when it comes to Pro Football Focus's grade with him. Against pressure, he's at 56.5%. With no pressure, it's at 94.1%. I'm looking at him. And obviously, when he's under pressure, he doesn't throw with the level of accuracy you'd like to see. I think that lends itself towards him running with the football. More. I think that mimics what Jayden Daniels does, even though Jayden Daniels can obviously throw with accuracy. I think we'll see Cam Ward running the football a lot, and I think that's why I pick him to answer this question.
Well, if we're looking at it from a quarterback perspective, I don't think any of the quarterbacks will have that type of impact because I don't believe any of the quarterbacks coming in is as good as Jayden Daniels, and I don't believe they were set up to have in a similar situation like Jayden Daniels and C.J. Stroud were. Woody, I would say this about Travis Hunter. I'm not so sure he's going to play the number of plays to have the impact that he had at Colorado. I don't believe he's going to play 130 plays. Now, I know he believes that. But the mental fatigue that it takes to spend that kind of time and to understand what they're doing schematically from an offensive standpoint as a defensive back and to understand what they're doing defensively as a wide receiver, I think that's going to be a bit much. So I think the impact that he could possibly have, I don't think it's going to be as big because he's not going to play as many reps on that side, on the other side of the ball as he played in Colorado. So for me, I don't think any of the players coming in is going to have that Jayden Daniels type impact because I don't believe they're going to a situation, especially with him being the quarterback. He has the ball, as Woody mentioned, all the time. And he went to a situation where they had skill position around him. And I think DQ did a great job of, got Cliff Kingsbury, that OC, Woody. Where are these guys going, and who's the OC? I know Kellen Moore, but I don't believe Kellen Moore has with New Orleans, what they're going through, that rebuild with all those salary cap. I don't think any of the guys are going to have a Jayden Daniels type impact.
Yeah, listen, Unc, I totally agree with you. I don't think any of these guys are the prospect that Jayden Daniels was, especially at the quarterback position. And I think you're right. Like Travis Hunter, I think he can affect both sides of the ball, but I think there's going to be there's going to be a transition period. He's not going to have the amount of snaps he had at Colorado. There's no way you can tell me you guard Jamar Chase, on one end, and then you got to go out there and play a bunch of snaps at the wide receiver position. I just don't think that's powerful.
Pat Surtain.
Yeah, that's right. I just don't think that'll happen. So I don't think anybody in this draft class is going to have the type of impact as Jayden Daniels.
All right, just 48 hours away from the NFL draft right here on ESPN and ABC. Speaking of impact, Cade
is going to make the first pick on Thursday night, and they will draft quarterback Cam Ward. We thought we knew what was going to happen at 2 and 3, but you're making it sound this morning, Peter, like maybe we shouldn't be so sure.
We'll get a little interesting here. So from all my talks around the league, Cam Ward is going number 1 to Tennessee, and they're not even listening to calls. It's almost like, yeah, we're good. Cleveland has been different this week. Calls are coming up for Cleveland and the Giants, and neither one of those teams are just slamming the phone, which tells me that there is a window, if you do offer a Godfather deal for a Cleveland or the Giants, to trade back, collect more draft capital, perhaps some veterans, and then make a decision later in the first round. The players that would be acquired if they were teams to be moving up would be the 3 blue chip prospects, our only blue chip unanimous prospects in this draft. That would be Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, and the running back Ashton Genty. But my news this morning, Browns and the Giants are not just saying no outright. They are listening to calls. They are not the ones making them, but they are receiving them.
Fascinating, Mike T, because we're usually having this conversation because there are quarterbacks teams want to come up to get. So take me through the mindset. If you're Cleveland, if you're the Giants, if you're sitting in those spots, what is the reason that you are taking these phone calls and contemplating the possibility of moving out of 2 or 3?
Greedy, similar to what Peter said is you want to trade back, acquire a few other picks, and a lot of teams I've talked to think that's where the sweet spot of the draft is. Once you get past those 2 guys, if you're picking 5 or 15, there's not a big difference. So if you're not taking a quarterback, you probably could get good value in terms of extra picks and get a similar player. As Hembo reminded me, Greeny, it's still expensive, though. You go back to Will Anderson and what Houston did 2 years ago, 12-3 still cost them a future first-round pick and a second-round pick. So it's not inexpensive to go get one of those 3 blue-chip players, but a lot of people feel like it falls off the table once you get past them.
So I understand that from the acquiring team's perspective. How about if you're the Giants, for example? And I think there is a working belief amongst those of us who cover this that they are going to come out of this with a quarterback somewhere along the line. If you're sitting at 3, you obviously can get a quarterback that you want sitting there. Take me through the mentality if you're the Giants of trading back.
I think Joe Shane has sort of telegraphed that a little bit. He keeps using the word value, as you said, Greeny. Therefore, if you can move back, whatever it is, a half a dozen spots, still pick a quarterback that you like, Jackson Dart, Shedeur Sanders, pay a little bit less for him, get an extra second or third round pick and maybe something else, that's really good value. So I think what they're saying, Greeny, is in this scenario, hey, we want our cake and eat it. We want the quarterback, but we think we could get him and some additional needs and save a little money.
I kind of like the thinking on this, and here's why. Because outstanding players, and clearly Abdul Carter is one, Travis Hunter is a freak, and Genty and anyone else that you may like. If you're a team that is 1 or 2 players away, I understand coming up and getting that. If you're a team like the Giants or the Browns, you need a lot of stuff. Unless you want a quarterback at the very top of a draft, I think moving back and acquiring more excellent players is a good strategy. How do you see this?
No, I think it's a great strategy. Usually the only reason teams would move up is for a quarterback.
Right.
And I think that there's only 3 blue chip players in this draft, and Peter and you guys have already listed those things. So listen, for the Giants, it makes a lot of sense to try to acquire, get your quarterback, and add more to the roster. Because let's face it, the Giants, the Browns, they need multiple players in order for this team to try to contend. So it makes a lot of sense for them to take these calls and possibly move back in the draft.
So what does this mean for the quarterbacks? For those of us who are getting ready to work on the draft coverage, if the Giants and Browns are seriously considering or even open to the possibility of moving off 2 and 3. What does it mean for the quarterbacks who will come after Cam Ward?
What it means is that there's now a window of you going earlier than where people are expecting you to go. I think Cam Ward is going 1, and now the delta between where Shedeur Sanders and Jackson Dart can go is anywhere from top 5 to the end of the first round to even the second round. If you were to take the Browns and the Giants and hypothetically move them back, say 7, 8 spots, the value to then justify a Jackson Dart, but we also got this guy, this guy, this guy. We took Shedeur Sanders, but we also got this guy, and this guy because of this Godfather deal. You can sell that internally and say, hey, we got everything we needed and we got more. In the current situation, you take Travis Hunter, you either trade him back in the first round or you're waiting till the 33rd or the 34th pick, and then you have to take who's there left, not you, the one calling the shot and taking the guy you want.
Boy, this is going to be fascinating. And Mike T told us earlier, these are not deals that get made on the clock. These are deals that get made today and tomorrow and are agreed upon in principle and just get executed on the clock. So there's a lot of maneuvering going on as we speak, 2 days to the draft. Coming
nên là sẽ đổi sang cái phần lưỡi chai thông thường này. Đây mọi người móc cho mình cứ từng mũi một nhé. Móc khoảng 1/3 cái vành mũ là được. Không móc một nửa nhé, một nửa là hơi bị nhiều đấy. Mọi người móc cái lưỡi chai thì khoảng 1/3 thôi. Móc lại cái mũi này một chút. Đây. Mình móc vào. Tiếp tục nha mọi người. Cứ lần lượt từ mũi cho đến khi được cái đường viền nổi như thế này. Tiếp nha. Mũi tiếp theo này. Đấy, mọi người cứ làm lần lượt thế này cho mình là được. Mình tiếp tục mình móc. Đây. Thêm một mũi nữa nha là sẽ dừng. Thêm một mũi nữa. Ok rồi. Đây nó sẽ vuông góc nha. Đây này mình móc mũi nổi thì cho nó vuông góc. Cắt cái dây đỏ đi cho nó đỡ vướng, nhìn cho nó dễ. Rồi. Đây nha mọi người. Cái phần vành này nó vuông góc với cái phần chóp mũ. Bây giờ mình sẽ móc cho nó dài thêm ra. Móc dài thêm ra. Nói chung là cái lưỡi chai thì móc độ dài tùy ý nhé. Cũng không có một cái quy chuẩn gì cả đâu. Lưỡi chai ngắn hoặc dài tùy